The sea calls. The old stories tell us of women who sing by the rocks. Their voices drift across the water, a promise of something unknown and deeply wanted. Sailors hear them and forget their course. They turn their ships toward the sound, drawn by a force they cannot name or resist. They crash upon the stones, their journey ended by a beautiful and terrible song. This is the siren. The image is sharp and deep. It lives in ancient myth. But more importantly, it lives within the modern mind, a powerful and persistent archetype of attraction and danger. We can call this potent image the spectacle of desire. It is not one specific woman, but a shape of feeling, a strategy of being. The siren is an energy that draws all eyes and holds them captive. It is a presence that quiets a room and makes hearts beat a little faster. This archetype understands that human attention is a currency, and it knows how to become infinitely wealthy. It moves power like the tide, pulling and pushing the desires of others with an almost invisible force. It is the art of making yourself the most compelling thing in the world, the one object of focus in a sea of distractions. Why do we call this archetype dangerous? Because it is never just about simple beauty. It is not merely charm or kindness. The siren's power comes from a potent mixture of light and shadow, of promise and threat. It awakens a profound desire in others, a yearning that feels almost spiritual in its intensity. It asks for their complete attention. It asks for their surrender. This is a power that can build empires, inspire masterpieces, and change the course of history. But it can also shatter lives, break hearts, and lead to ruin. It is a double-edged sword, beautiful to behold, but lethal to mishandle. The siren has always been with us, from the pages of Homer. She is a fundamental pattern of human interaction, a dance of pursuit and capture that plays out in boardrooms, bedrooms, and ballrooms. To understand her is to understand a deep truth about human nature. We are drawn to mystery, we are captivated by beauty, and we are often seduced by the hint of danger. The spectacle of desire is not a role to be played lightly. It is a force of nature, and learning to channel it requires wisdom, control, and a deep understanding of its mesmerizing and perilous song. The siren's effect is not magic, though it often appears to be. It is a finely tuned craft, built upon 4 distinct pillars. Each pillar is a tool, a specific quality that is cultivated and projected. When they work in concert, they create the spellbinding aura that is the siren's signature. These pillars are the foundation of her power, the source code of her allure. The first and most foundational pillar of the siren's power is her voice. This is not about singing, though the myth began there. It is about the quality of her speech. The siren's voice is an instrument of enchantment, and she uses it with deliberate calm. It does not rush or clamor for attention. It is slow, it is measured, it is often low-pitched, carrying a warmth that seems to envelop the listener. This slowness creates space in a conversation. It forces others to slow down, to listen more carefully. It makes them lean in, literally and figuratively, creating an immediate, intimate connection. The siren's voice feels safe. It is also a tool of subtle control. It has a musical quality, a pleasing cadence that is hypnotic to the ear. It can soothe anxiety. It can disarm suspicion. It can make the most outrageous request sound perfectly reasonable. A calm, steady voice suggests confidence and power held in reserve. It communicates she is unruffled, operating from deep inner peace. This quality is intensely attractive. People are drawn to that tranquility. The voice becomes a sanctuary, a place the listener wants to return to. This vocal control allows for dramatic shifts that can destabilize the listener. She can move from a warm, languid tone to a cool, detached one in a single breath. She can infuse words with a sudden hint of sadness or a flicker of amusement, keeping her audience off balance. Her use of silence is as powerful as words. She is comfortable with pauses, letting them hang to build tension or invite confession. This mastery of vocal dynamics is quiet power. It can move a heart or change a mind without ever raising volume. To cultivate this pillar, practice vocal awareness. Speak more slowly than usual. Consciously lower your pitch. The second pillar is the visual dazzle. The siren is, above all, a spectacle. She understands that sight is the most powerful sense for creating immediate desire and fascination. Her appearance is never accidental. It is a carefully constructed work of art. Her style is often bold and exact, designed not just to be beautiful, but to be memorable. She uses clothing color ornament to catch the light and the eye. Her movements are part of this visual display. A slow, deliberate walk, a graceful turn of the head, a gesture that seems both natural and perfectly composed. She is a living painting. This visual power is built on the principle of the single, striking detail. The siren knows that overwhelming the eye with too much information is amateurish. Instead, she focuses on one or two elements that create a powerful, lasting impression. It might be a slash of bold red lipstick against an otherwise neutral palette. It could be the glint of a unique piece of jewelry, or the way a dress moves around her as she walks. These signs are like punctuation in a sentence. They give her appearance meaning and pull the mind of the observer into a story. The mind loves a story, and the siren's visual narrative is one of beauty, mystery, and choice. Her gaze is a key component of this visual arsenal. The siren's stare is steady, direct, and unnerving. She is not afraid to hold eye contact for a moment longer than is comfortable, creating a jolt of intimacy and recognition. Her eyes can promise paradise or hint at a hidden sorrow, drawing the observer into a psychological game. This is not a vacant stare. It is an active, intelligent gaze that communicates presence and awareness. It says, "I see you," which is one of an observer's deepest desires. To be truly seen by such a creature feels like a form of anointment, a special selection. The siren moves through the world as if she owns it, not with arrogance, but with a deep and unshakable sense of her own value. She holds her space. She does not fidget or shrink to make others more comfortable. This regal quality is magnetic because it is so rare. In a world where most people are anxious for approval, her self-contained dignity stands out like a beacon. She does not chase, she attracts. She waits, and this stillness gives her immense power. People naturally gravitate toward those who seem to possess an inner throne. This regal bearing is communicated through posture, movement, and an economy of energy. The siren stands tall, her shoulders back, her breathing calm and even. Her movements are deliberate and graceful, never rushed or frantic. When she enters a room, she doesn't hurry to find a seat or a conversation. She pauses, surveys the space, and allows the room to adjust to her presence. This simple act of taking her time sends a powerful signal. She is not in need of anything or anyone. This lack of neediness is the ultimate aphrodisiac. It suggests she is a source of value, not a seeker of it. When the siren speaks, people listen, not because she is loud, but because her regal presence has already commanded their attention. She treats herself with respect, and this teaches others to do the same. She does not engage in gossip or petty complaints, as these are beneath her. The final and most complex pillar is the menace. The siren is not all light warmth pleasure. Within her allure, there is always a shadow, a subtle hint of danger. This is what separates her from merely beautiful, charming women. The menace is the edge that makes the desire she inspires so sharp and compelling. It is the feeling that this beautiful experience could be taken away at any moment. It is the thrilling risk that makes the heart race and short-circuits the rational mind. Without this element, the siren is pleasant. With it, she is unforgettable. This menace is not about overt cruelty or aggression. It is a much more refined and psychological threat. It is the threat of withdrawal, loss, inconstancy. The siren communicates, in 1,000 small ways, that she can never be fully possessed or controlled. She has a rich inner life ambition secrets that remain just beyond her lover's reach. This creates a permanent state of low-grade anxiety and fascination. The lover is always trying to get closer to solve the puzzle to secure her affection, but he can never be entirely sure of his position. This keeps him perpetually engaged. We learn much of this from studying the arts of seduction and power. Human beings are deeply susceptible to sensory information, to narrative, and to mystery. The siren does not argue or persuade with logic. She bypasses the rational mind entirely. She works on the senses and the emotions, creating a slow, steady overload that narrows the target's focus until she is the only thing they can see or think about. She creates an experience, a world of heightened feeling and intense focus that the target will crave again and again. Why are men, and people in general, so often helpless before this archetype? Part of the answer is biological. The mind is drawn to clear, compelling visual cues. It seeks signals of value, of health, and of rarity. The siren provides all of these in abundance. She presents herself as a rare and precious object, a prize to be won. This triggers deep, instinctual patterns of pursuit and attention. Her allure is not just about physical beauty, the story she tells with her presence, which signals that she is worth any price. Another part is psychological. The siren creates what can be called an emotional crisis in the gentlest way. She floods the senses with pleasure. The sound of her voice, the sight of her curated image, the feeling of her focused attention. This sensory richness makes the ordinary world seem dull and gray by comparison. The brain becomes fixated on the source of this new, vibrant reality. It creates a state of dependency. The target begins to feel incomplete without her, and this creates a powerful bond of influence and a deep, consuming attraction. The siren becomes the center of their world because she has made her presence the most interesting thing in it. To see how these pillars combine in the real world, we can look at two women who, in very different ways, embodied the siren archetype. They were not identical copies. They were unique artists who shaped the siren energy to fit their personalities and their times. They show the flexibility and power of the archetype. One was an intellectual powerhouse who ruled an empire. The other was a cinematic goddess who ruled the world's imagination. Both were masters of creating a spectacle of desire, and both wielded the four pillars with devastating effect. First, consider Cleopatra, the intellectual siren. As the Queen of Egypt, her power was already immense, but she amplified it with a brilliant use of siren tactics. Her visual dazzle was legendary. Sailing up the Cydnus River in a perfumed barge with silver oars, dressed as the goddess Venus. This was pure theater. Her regal demeanor was absolute. She was a queen, and she never let anyone forget it. But her true genius lay in her voice and her menace. She spoke numerous languages and was a brilliant conversationalist, able to charm and intellectually stimulate the most powerful men of her day, Julius Caesar. Mark Antony. Cleopatra's charm was smart. She made powerful men feel seen, understood, and even more clever in her presence. She mixed mind and body, intellect and beauty, into an irresistible cocktail. Her menace was rooted in her political power and her formidable intellect. She was a ruler with her own agenda, a woman who could outthink a king and command armies. The danger she represented was real. Aligning with her could bring immense glory or total ruin. Her allure was a promise of a shared destiny, a partnership in greatness. Men saw their own ambitions reflected and magnified in her eyes, and they followed her to the ends of the earth. Now, consider Marilyn Monroe, the vulnerable siren. Marilyn's persona was entirely different, yet just as effective. Her visual dazzle was iconic. Platinum hair, the red lips, the white dress. Her voice was her signature instrument. A breathy, soft, almost childlike whisper that made men feel powerful and protective. This projection of vulnerability was a masterstroke, as it disarmed men and made them want to both rescue and possess her. It was an invitation into a fantasy of masculine competence. Beneath this surface of helpless beauty, however, Marilyn was a skilled craftswoman. She used small gestures, perfect comedic timing, and a deep understanding of the camera to pull people close. Her menace was of a different kind than Cleopatra's. It was the danger that she was both untouchable and on the verge of breaking. This combination of ethereal perfection and human fragility created an urgent, almost desperate desire in her audience. People wanted to save her, to capture the fleeting moment of her perfection. Both Cleopatra and Marilyn used theatrical craft, image, and voice, but they show how the siren energy can be channeled through strength or through vulnerability. Both paths lead to the same destination, complete and utter fascination. How does one activate this potent energy for oneself? And more importantly, how does one keep it from becoming a destructive force? The siren archetype is not a costume to be worn, but an energy to be integrated. It requires practice, self-awareness. Here are 5 simple, practical steps to begin exploring this power in a safe and constructive way. The key is to start small, to observe the effects, and to always maintain a strong connection to your true self. This is not about becoming someone else, but about unlocking a powerful facet of who you already are. First, find your voice. This is the foundation. For 1 week, make a conscious effort to speak more slowly. Before you answer a question, take a small but perceptible pause. Practice using a slightly lower, calmer tone. Try to eliminate filler words like and like. Let silence become a part of your speech. You will notice that people start listening more intently. Silence pulls people in more effectively than constant talking. A calm, measured voice signals confidence and makes everything you say seem more important. This is the first step in controlling the energy of any interaction. Second, craft your image with a single, clear statement. Instead of trying to be perfectly fashionable, choose one signature element and make it your own. It could be a specific color you wear often. It could be a unique style of jewelry. It could be always having immaculate nails. Keep the rest of your appearance simple and elegant. This one strong sign of beauty gives the eye a focus point and builds mystery. It tells a story without words. Do not overdo it. The goal is to create a memorable impression, not to overwhelm the senses. Simplicity and consistency are the keys to a powerful visual signature. Third, hold your space. This is about posture and presence. Walk with small, steady steps, as if you have all the time in the world. When you stand, stand tall. When you sit, take up your space comfortably. Do not chase approval in conversations by leaning in too far or nodding too much. Let others come to you. Pay attention to your breathing, keeping it slow and deep. This physical calmness projects an aura of regal self-possession. It communicates that you are not needy and that you are comfortable in your own skin, which is intensely attractive. Fourth, add a small, subtle threat. This is not about being cruel, it is about having boundaries. Establish a line that you will not cross for anyone. It could be a policy of never discussing certain topics. It could be always leaving a party at a specific time. It could be not being available on demand via text. This creates a sense of scarcity and value. It communicates that your time and energy are precious. And fifth, and most crucially, keep a rich inner life. Read books, learn a skill. The siren's power is safest when it is a show, not the whole reality. The deeper your true self, the less danger there is of the mask taking over. The siren's power is intoxicating, both for the one who wields it and for those who fall under its spell. But like any great power, it has a shadow side that is real and dangerous. To ignore these dangers is to risk becoming the very thing the myth warns against, a force of pure destruction, including self-destruction. The shadow side can manifest as jealousy, the erosion of time, a complete loss of self, a crippling addiction to attention. Understanding these risks is essential for anyone who wishes to touch this fire without being consumed by it. True mastery is not in the spell, but in the control. Jealousy is the first and most immediate danger. When you become a spectacle of desire, you will inevitably draw envy and resentment from others. Competitors and rivals will emerge, seeking to tarnish your image or usurp your position. This can create conflict and isolate you. The key to managing this is to not make enemies needlessly. Be gracious, keep true friends close, and understand that the admiration you receive will always be balanced by the envy you provoke. Do not get drawn into petty battles. A regal demeanor rises above them. Time is the siren's silent enemy. An allure based solely on physical beauty and novelty is subject to decay. Beauty fades, youth passes, and what was once new and exciting becomes familiar. A siren who relies only on the visual dazzle will find her power waning over the years. This is why the other pillars, the voice, the regal demeanor, and the inner life that fuels them, are so critical. You must cultivate strengths that deepen with age: wisdom, grace, wit, a formidable intellect. The most powerful sirens are those whose allure transcends the physical. The greatest danger is the loss of self. The role can swallow the person. If you wear the mask of the siren for too long, you can forget who you were before you put it on. You may start to believe that you are only valuable when you are desired, and your self-worth becomes dependent on the gaze of others. This is a psychological prison. To avoid it, you must keep a private part of yourself that is not for public show. Have hobbies, friends. Keep a mirror to your soul, not just to your face. Do not become the ship dashed on the rocks. Be the sea that sings and the shore that holds. The true purpose of learning this art is not to ensnare others, but to master the forces of desire within yourself and the world around you. It is about choice, knowing when to be seen, when to be invisible, when to sing, when to be silent. The siren is a mirror, revealing human hunger for beauty, story, and risk. Use it as a tool, but do not let it define you. Let the myth teach you its final, deepest lesson. We must learn which song to sing, when to sing it, and most importantly, when to let the quiet winds carry us home to ourselves. Right. The Siren archetype, the most dangerous feminine energy, the spectacle of desire.